One of the most prominent topics at this month's meeting was the tuition increase proposal. The tuition increase proposal was first introduced at the January Board of Trustees meeting. The Board of Trustees is the board that oversees the entire California State University system. The CSU system receives funding from two different sources. The first one is state funding and the second one is student fees and tuition. This year, there is a $171 million gap between what is actually needed to successfully run and operate the CSU system and what has actually been given to the system by the governor and the state. And that is why they are currently thinking about raising tuition. The tuition increases will be as follows: $228 more for undergraduate students, $264 more for students seeking a credential, and $432 more for graduate students. In the midst of talking about a tuition increase, they are also thinking about making cuts to 3 different areas across the system. Those 3 areas are the graduation initiative, student enrollment growth, and the last one is infrastructure. But even when making cuts to all 3 of these areas, that still does not suffice for the $171 million gap, and that is where the tuition increase will come into play. Later in the meeting, Chancellor White arrived to have a Q&A with the students at the CSSA meeting. The first question that was asked was why were $122 million worth of raises given to different employee and faculty groups when they most likely knew that the state would underfund the CSU system once again. Chancellor White expressed that he was very unapologetic about doing so and believes that his staff, faculty, and employees need to be paid fairly in order to keep the CSU system competitive amongst other systems and institutions. He was then asked if he would take a pay cut to show his solidarity with students if the tuition increase passed. He said that he would not. He also expressed that over the course of his term as chancellor, he has already taken a 10% decrease in his pay and believes that he can show his solidarity and support of students in many other ways. A student went on to ask if he believes that tuition increases directly relate to student dropout rates. His answer was no. And the most important question that was asked was, when will this vote actually take place? And what is the current consensus as the board? He said that, 1, he is not in favor of the tuition increase and neither is his board, and that they will postpone the vote to as far out as they can, which we have come to assume it will take place in May of 2018. In state legislation news, CSSA officially supports 2 assembly bills. The first one is called the Cal Grant B Incentive Grant Program. This grant would be given out to students who already received the Cal Grant B award, and they would have to complete 300 hours of community or volunteer work in order to obtain this grant. The bill is AB 1037. The second piece of legislation that CSSA officially supports is the California Kickstart My Future Loan Forgiveness Program. This bill would give a grant to students who graduate from a California college. They would be able to utilize that grant to alleviate federal loan debt that they have incurred over their college career. The bill is AB 1767. If you would like to stay up to date on everything regarding the tuition increase or would like to participate in Lobby Corps' efforts here on campus to combat the tuition increase, please feel free to contact myself or anyone else on Lobby Corps.